Hey guys, Will here with Create Studio, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a really cool call to action sequence inside of Create Studio 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive in and see what you're going to be creating.
As we wrap up our corporate presentation, join us on this exciting journey.
Connect, explore opportunities, and be part of our success story.
Alright, there's some really cool things inside of here, and now one thing I do want to point out is that this scene and other scenes like this are available to all users. All you have to do is go to your scenes here, and then scroll down and under business presentation, you'll see all of the scenes that are similar to this one, as well as the one we're going to be creating today. All right, so let's go ahead and delete this and let's get started. All right, so the first thing I want to do is let's go ahead and find a background. So I'm going to go over here to my studio here, and I'm going to select on backgrounds. And then in the search element section, let's just go ahead and type in office. And then you'll have a whole bunch of backgrounds related to office spaces. And I'm going to go ahead and choose this co-working space right here. And then I'm going to drag that onto my canvas here. All right, so I've got my background set up. Let's go ahead and rename this, and let's just call this, right click it, hit rename, and let's just call it BG for background. And then now we're ready to add our characters. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my 3D character, and then I'm gonna select Tom, right? So I'll drag him down to my timeline here. And then what I'll do is you can go ahead and you can also customize these characters as you want, right? Select your character, go to customize, and then you have all the customizable features. I've already got one pre-built out, so I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to select my pre-built character. All right, I'm going to move him over here for right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some animations to him, right? So I'm going to click on his idle right here, and it'll open up all of his actions that is available to him. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a starting animation of walking. So I'm going to hit walking here. All right, and then I'm going to hit add new action. And then we're going to give him a pointing left animation. So we're going to go here, go to pointing left, and then hit add another animation. And we're going to say thumbs up. So I'm going to go down here and go to thumbs up. And then we're going to have him add our last animation, and we're going to have him do an idle. All right, so I'm going to hit idle. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this in so you can kind of see what's going on. And you can use these to kind of pull them in and resize them as you need to go from there. But I'm actually going to make my background. Let's pull this out a little bit more. I'm going to make it about 6 seconds or so. All right, so now we've got a good starting point. Now we can start animating our character. All right, so the first thing I want to do is let's go ahead and select on our walking animation here, and let's disable the start, okay? So what I want to do now is I need to go to my properties here, and I need to scroll down, and where you see flip, let's go ahead and click on this first flip option right here, which turns him to face the opposite direction, right? So now I can get out of that. And so now what I can do is let's go ahead and right click on our Tom animation, 3D animation character here. And let's click on add animation. On easing, make sure you choose in and out and choose linear. And then on properties, we're going to choose position. All right, so what that does is it created an in keyframe and an out keyframe for us. So what I can do is let's go ahead and drag this to the beginning here. And then I'm going to select that first keyframe there. And I'm going to drag Tom, my character here, to the off-screen left side here, right? Just as he's right there off screen. All right. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and move my second out keyframe here to about 2 seconds or so, somewhere about right here. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull him over just a little bit to about right here. And that's going to be my starting point there. And then I can maneuver my pointing left animation as I need to. But let's go ahead and start there. So what I can do now is I can then press play, and then he's going to come walking out, and then he'll turn around and point left. All right, so we've got his starting animation. That's good to go. Now let's go ahead and add some voiceover dialogue. All right, so let's go ahead and navigate to my media here, and I've got some dialogue already pre-recorded. So I'm going to go ahead and drag in this track to my timeline, and then let's go ahead and line up it where I want this dialogue to fire off. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through so he walks, and then as he turns, I want him to start talking about right here. So I'll go ahead and move this dialogue over just a little bit. And then what I can do is to sync the lip to my character, I can right click on my text to speech line here, and then go up here and say sync with Tom. All right, so now if I can pull this back a little bit.
As we wrap up our corporate presentation, join us on this exciting journey.
All right, so now let's go ahead and add our second character, and let's bring her in. All right, so let's go ahead and navigate back to our 3D creator, and let's go ahead and bring our Lenka character into our timeline here. And then once she's in there, what I can do is let's go ahead and select the idle here, and it's going to bring up my animation. So I'm going to go ahead, instead of an idle, let's go ahead and start her with a walking animation. And I'm going to select add new action, and then we're going to choose her next animation to be an idle. And then I will select new action again, and then we'll have her pointing left. All right, so if I go up here, select pointing left, and then our last action for her is going to be a thumbs up. All right, so now if I go down, I'll find thumbs up. All right, so now I've got everything set up here. Now I just need to change her character theme, right? So right now she's just Lenka as is. And again, you can click here, I can go on customize, and you can customize her as you want, but I already have some presets built out, so I'm gonna go ahead and select this character here. All right, so now that I've got my character built out here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull her to the right here, and let's go ahead and start animating her. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select my walking animation, and we're gonna go ahead and disable the start to begin with. And then what I can do is she's already facing the right direction when she walks, right? So I don't have to change that direction in the settings, but I do need to change her scale a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select her, come over here to my properties, and on my scale, I'm gonna go ahead and adjust her to be about 186 or somewhere around there, right? Just a little bit bigger. All right, so now I've got her sized up correctly. So what I can do now is I can right click and let's go ahead and add animation, and we're gonna choose position. And then easing, we're also gonna make sure it's in and out and then choose linear. Okay, so now that we've got our in and out point keyframes, I'm gonna go ahead and move this over so that this is set to the beginning of my animation here. I'm gonna select that first keyframe, and I'm gonna go ahead and move her off screen. So she's gonna start at about right here. All right, now I'm gonna select my second keyframe, but I'm gonna have it come out a little bit further, probably about right here. So. And then I'm actually, you know what, let's delay her start so she comes in a little bit after Tom does, right? So I'll come in right here. And then now I'm gonna have her stop right at that first little beanbag chair right here. Okay, so she'll come in right there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and adjust her idle. I'm just gonna pull her walking animation back a little bit to about right here. So now if I play this back from here, she'll walk in on screen.
As we wrap up our corporate presentation, join us on this exciting journey.
All right, and now we've got her animation set up. All right, so now let's move on to the next step and let's add some dialogue for her. All right, so let's go back into my media, and I've got my second dialogue track here, and I'm gonna drag it right above the Lenka character. And I'm just gonna pull it out because she's gonna start speaking a little bit after he finishes his last line. So about right here is where I want her to start firing off her line. I can zoom in a little bit just so we can see what's going on. All right, so now we have our characters audio sync and our animation setup, right? And we can adjust animations as we need to on the fly when we start adding some graphics in. But let's go ahead and get those in now so we can finalize the final product here. Now, I've already pre-created some of these graphics to make them simpler to add into this project, but you can go ahead and customize and make any type of graphic or your own assets that you want to add into this call to action for your business, for your project needs. You can do that as well. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and right click on my background track here and select add track above. So I create a new track. Now I'm gonna go to my scenes here and then go to my scenes specifically. And I'm gonna drag in this join us button that I've already created, okay? So what I'm gonna do is as he's walking out, I want this button to kind of fire off probably about right here, right before his dialogue starts to go. So probably about right here is where I want it to start. And if I double click in here, I can kind of show you how it's made. Right, this is the green is just a rounded rectangle, which again, you can go to the plus icon, create a rounded rectangle, and then you can add in some text. And I have another group inside of here where I have the text join us, and I've got an animation scaling up, right? So it scales up the join us, and then a keyframe that then slides it to the left on its way out so that it makes room for the arrow. And then here is the arrow itself, and it's got its own little fade in animation as well. All right, so we can go back to the button again. And then here is everything in its full entirety, right? So super cool and all customizable and easy to create inside of Create Studio 3. So now let's add a secondary background effect. So right now you can see that if I pull the cursor out, it goes to black after the button goes away there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna click on the background track again, right click, I'm gonna add a track above. And now inside of my scenes, again, I've already got this white background effect. And of course you can add, it doesn't have to be this specific background. You can add a background that you have. You can have, maybe you have your own design, like for your company, for your project, whatever. Maybe you're working on something for somebody specific. You can add this in to brand it yourself, brand it to what it is that you're creating, right? So I'm gonna have it kind of almost do it like a crossfade here. So as this join us dips out, this is gonna start to fade in here. So, or fade up, yeah. So let's go about right here.
On this exciting journey.
Connect, explore opportunities, and be part of our success story.
All right, so here's where I can add some last remaining text. All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. All right, I'm going to navigate to the top here and click on my plus button and then choose a text box. All right, so I'm going to come over here to my settings and change the color to blue. And then I'm going to adjust the text to say www. And it'll be like, yourcompany.com. All right. And so now what I can do is let's go ahead and on the font, you can change it to what you want. I'm going to keep it DM Sans. You can change it to any weight. Let's go ahead and keep it bold. And for my scale, I'm going to make it 63%. And then I'm going to pull this over here so her finger is there. And I'm going to make it to where it's sitting right about here, right below her finger there. All right. So once I've got that set, now what I can do is select the text there and then go to motion, go to saved, and we're going to make it this bottom plus fade, and that is in the in animation there. All right, and then I can click letter and we're going to stay forward. And so now I've got this nice little animation that's going to play in.
Connect, explore opportunities, and be part
for my company name. All right, so now let's add one more layer of text. So I'm going to go over to my plus icon, add the text box again, and drag it below the company name. Let's double click inside of here, and we're going to make this the same color blue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste some text that I've already got, so it's be a part of your success story. I'm going to pull this back a little bit because we want this to start a little bit after the company's in there. And then what we can do is select it, come up here, it's going to say the same font, the same bold, same color, and our scale is going to be a little smaller though. We're going to make it about 36, and then we're going to bring it in about right centered below our company name here. All right. And then what we can do is we're going to add, and so I can do is I can copy this and then paste it into the same animation, right? So that's kind of a quick way that you can copy and paste
Connect, explore
animations.
Opportunities, and be part of our success story.
All right, so that is a really great way to create a call to action sequence inside of Create Studio 3. Hopefully you got some really cool quick tips out of here. Can't wait to see what y'all create. I'll catch you on the next tutorial.